Vintage Gentlemen, what we say is our mission is we're building a toolkit of content to help men become the best versions of themselves. And we're doing that by interviewing men and women, talking about key issues of life, telling our stories, sharing our ups and downs. And so I want to go through that tonight. And Jon wants to focus on the importance of inner circle, the concept of inner circle. So we're going to dig into that. You know, at Vintage Gentlemen, we talk about the 4 pillars, which are identity, purpose, authenticity, and legacy. So starting off with identity, I just teed up a little bit about who you are so briefly. Let's dig into you telling us a little bit about who you are, where you're from, and what you're up to.
Yeah, well, I'm from Florida originally. There's not many of us here, but I am a Floridian from Bay County. Have born and raised, lived here my entire life. You won't find many of us running around here in Florida anymore these days. But nowadays, I am a father first and foremost, and I love my 14-year-old daughter. She is, I get one chance at being a father, and she's it. So I'm hopefully going to do my best job there and raise her up the way she should be raised. But married to my beautiful wife, Christy, who I met here at PBA. We both graduated from Palm Beach Atlantic University, so go Sailfish. But talking about identity, I remember it was the summer of 1992, and I just watched Michael Jordan lead the men's Olympic basketball team to gold medal. That same summer, Gatorade produced an advertisement that said, like Mike. And I don't know if any of you remember that commercial, like Mike, if I could be like Mike, wanna be like Mike. So as an 11-year-old kid, I decided, well, Mike has everything. He has Gatorade, he's got Nikes, he's got basketball, everybody loves him. I'm gonna be Michael Jordan. And so at an 11-year-old kid, I decided I was gonna be a basketball player. That was my identity. Fast forward to November, we've got basketball tryouts at school, and I'm excited, I'm pumped. I've been Mike for like 2 months, and it's been great. So we get to these tryouts, and it's a week-long tryout, and I'm working hard. I give everything I got. And I remember sitting on the bench, and I'm listening to Coach call the names. Michael, Josh, Earl, Ben, okay, David. He's got to call my name here soon, I hope. He didn't call my name. And as that last person was called, I remember sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm a failure. I'm just angry. I'm better than that guy for sure. And all the things, all the emotions that you're feeling. And I thought to myself in that moment, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to beat every single person on that team. I will never feel like this ever again. And I just began to cry. And I remember my father reminding me of a verse in Isaiah, and it talks about 43 that hey Jon, I formed you, I know you, I love you, you're mine. When you go through trials, when you go through fire, you won't be burned. When you walk through the water, you won't drown. I love you, you're mine. Dude, I held on to that. I still worked hard and still beat every one of those kids on that team because that's what I committed to do, and I did it. But that was a saving grace to my identity because at that point I didn't know who I was because I was supposed to be a basketball player, but I ended up not being that for a while. So that's my identity.
I love that story. And so bring it current day. So you graduated here, and tell us about your career and then your life as a public servant.
Yeah, I got the opportunity to play with some great guys here at Palm Beach Atlantic, and got a chance to meet some great people. And during that time, well, in high school, we were really, really, really good. We won nationals in basketball, football. I played baseball occasionally. When I came to PBA, I was good as an individual athlete. Our team wasn't that great, but I was an All-American basketball player here at PBA. But the school itself and the people here were even better than the basketball for sure, which I learned and developed skills of being a man and understanding how to be a leader. And from there, we started a financial planning company. I've been doing that for 17 years now, but more importantly, I've served on a lot of boards, and I've learned leadership skills. I learned the value of family. Understood small business, but learned the value of families and the impact it could have by not having a father in a home and what that looks like. I've seen it firsthand in my own community.
And then you're also currently vice mayor, Lake Clark Shores.
I am an elected official. I decided to, once I decided that my purpose is family and small business and father specifically, I knew that in order to change the laws, I have to go to a position of where you can actually impact that and do it. And so my goal, my purpose in this journey is to be a U.S. Senator for the state of Florida. Now, what that looks like, you don't wake up one day and decide you're going to be a senator. You have to actually do some things to get there. And so right now, I'm currently serving in Lake Clark Shores. I am actually going to be running for State House, District 87, which is that next step for me to be able to get to where I'm going, and that's to be a U.S. Senator for Florida.
Right. So, when you see his name, make sure we support this man. That's why that's one of the reasons why I want to have him here tonight. Jon, on identity, you've said that one of the most important ways to learn about the inner circle, building inner circle, is first knowing yourself, which is identity. Tell us some of the story of you learning about yourself.
Yeah, I heard it said that when you know who you are in Christ, it doesn't matter who you're not. Once I started to believe that all the things I wasn't, it was okay to be just Jon. Oscar Wilde said it best, be yourself because everyone else is taken. Through a lot of trial and error, a lot of failing, and a lot of things I wish I could change and go back and do differently. But I learned that it's okay to be Jon and it's okay not to be perfect.
That's good. I like it. So you're saying you're not perfect?
Not at all. Yeah, no. I got a buddy here from college. He saw my name, was like, hey, I'm gonna come check you out. We kind of laughed in the hallway. Definitely not perfect, that's for sure.
So I want to talk a little bit about confidence and then also introduce the concept of inner circle a little bit more, and how it was shaped for you going through some ups and downs, building confidence, and then pursuing, building an inner circle. What does that look like? And what does it mean to have an inner circle for those who are still questioning what that is?
Let me share what it means to have an inner circle. I was with my guys this weekend, this Saturday, and we spent time together. And it was very intentional, meaning that my wife wants me to do this, I gotta go do that, I got this obligation, that I put those things on pause and I make time for my guys. And it's very intentional because I invest deeply in them and they invest in me. And what I've understood and learned is that if we're not investing in the people who are closest to us, then we're being poor stewards of the relationship that God has given us. So I'm with my guys this weekend, and what it looks like is like, hey man, I'm thinking about doing this. Are you nuts? You can't do that. You can't say that. You can't do this. You can't do that. Or it's, hey man, I'm thinking about doing this. Dude, that's a great idea. We got you. What do you need from us? Or, hey, I'm thinking about this idea. Well, here's maybe how you could think about doing that a little bit different. This might be a little bit more efficient. Hey man, dude, can I pray with you guys? Yeah, let's pray. Hey man, here's what's going on in my marriage. Hey man, I'm looking for a wife. Will you pray with me about that? These are conversations. We're not talking about the weather. We don't care. We're not talking about who won the basketball last night. It doesn't matter. ESPN has that answer already. We're talking about like what really matters to people. And we care genuinely and we're authentic with each other. We don't have time to like shoot the breeze for an hour and then go your separate ways. Like when we're together, it's very intentional and it's very authentic, it's very honest, and it's very raw. It's like, hey, this is our time to get better. Let's cherish it, but let's make it efficient. And then, let's go back to life. So that's what I feel like an inner circle is really meant to be. It's not a casual passing relationship. These are people that really invest in you and that you value. Now here's the key, guys. Most people think, and I'll give you an example of Jesus. He had 12 disciples. And at some point, and I'll share this tomorrow, his 12 went to 3 disciples. And they joined him in the inner room upstairs to see a girl get healed, and they'd seen a miracle. So at the end of the day, it's not about the size of the people around you. It could go from 12 to 3. It's really about the impact that your inner circle makes in your life, or who you become because of the people around you. Like, who are you becoming because of the people that you surround yourself with? Are you who you want to be? Are you the man or woman you want to be? Are they making you and helping you get there? Are they shaping you, informing you? Are they guiding you in that direction? Are they giving you wisdom and guidance into that? So that's really what I found to be the most valuable aspect of an inner circle.
That's great. As you're talking, we're learning about identity. It lends itself automatically to purpose. And, clearly some of your purpose being running for public office. How is your inner circle? You started to mention it just now, but how they helped you have the confidence to run for office on a level where, there's really only 2. Was it 2 seats?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes I find myself doubting myself and lying to myself. And in Proverbs it says that God hates lying, a lying tongue, even the lies that we tell ourselves. But, He loves those who are truthful, even to ourselves. At times, sometimes I'm great. Like, I'm all in. I'm like, no fear, let's go. And then other moments, I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do that, or why should I do that? Am I the right guy for this? I don't have the pedigree, I don't this, I don't that, excuse. And really, my inner circle, hey man, no, you're exactly the guy. Hey man, this is why God led you here, this is why you're doing that. And sometimes it's good to just have folks remind you and invest in you and tell you that, I know you're scared, and that's okay, that's good, but we're doing this. We're doing this, yeah? So, we're doing this. That's it.
That's good. How did you know what your purpose was? When was that point where you said, this is what I've been created for? Your unique giftings.
Yeah, that's good. And I remember praying one day and being like, God, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, I have a great career, I got a beautiful family, but like, what do you want from me? And He just put families on my heart. I'm a family guy, and specifically making sure that other families have an opportunity to have a dad or father figure in their life who invests in them, who loves them. Every child deserves that. And the impact will last for generations and generations long after I'm gone. That is my purpose and legacy, to make sure that kids coming up through the ranks, they have a dad that loves them. And I will see that through.
It's so important to think about being authentic when you are realizing what your purpose is. To be authentic in that purpose is really important as you develop these relationships in your inner circle. And you have a pretty funny memory of being your true self, in other words, when you first started with Northwestern.
Yeah, so pretty excited to get this game going with Northwestern. Like anything new, you got to call some people and tell them what you're doing so they know. And so I started Northwestern, but before you start, you show up to this meeting and this training with 200 people, names and numbers of your closest friends and relatives, and they teach you the red letter phoning language. I was like, all right, well, this is kind of different, but okay, I'll roll with it. Just got to trust the process, I guess. So I go in 2 weeks, they teach me all these things. I'm like, okay, great. They're like, all right, I'm ready to start phoning. And my phone calls go something like this, and they weren't authentic, but this is what they taught me, so this is what I did. Ring, 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 ring.
Yo, Mapes, what's up?
Hi, Duane, this is Jon Maples. That's what they told me to say. Hey man, I was wondering if I can meet with you next week to just share a couple ideas with you. I would love to meet and just see where it goes.
Well, thank you for using my full name, and you're creeping me out a little bit here. What's going on?
Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. This is what they taught me to say, so that's just what I said. I don't know. But anyway, at the end of it, my buddies are all like, dude, John, why are you talking like that? Just be authentic and tell me what you need and let's go get it done. I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. At the end of the day, what I learned was it's not really about what you say. It's just about being authentic. Be you. Like, again, everyone else is taken, John, so you're stuck with what you have, friend. Just make the best of it. So that's what I learned about being authentic. Most people can see right through if you're being whatever you're being. People can tell. They can feel it, they can sense it, and they know that, hey man, this guy is definitely not the real deal. Or they can say, that dude is the real deal, and he is very authentic. And that's how I want to live my life. Just transparent, authentic, and just loving people.
Now, with a show of hands, how many people here trust a politician? I don't. A show of hands. Any? One? Two? And not so much. I mean, you're fighting an uphill battle, brother. How do you come across as authentic as a politician in a world that, just turn on the television? It's been somewhat of a circus for a number of years. How do you overcome that and have people actually believe, outside of these two, that you are authentic?
Well, that's an animal. Politics sucks. It just sucks.
Do you recommend anybody pursue politics?
I would tell you, make sure that you're being called by the Lord because it sucks. And it can be nasty at times, but how do you be authentic in a place where everything seems a little, dude, I'm gonna circle it back to your inner circle. Your best people will tell you, dude, that was not you. I don't know what happened there, but that was not good, friend. You're gonna have to go back and apologize. We do that over again because that was not who you are. And I truly believe that I've surrounded myself with guys who love me enough to tell me, dude, you were way off base. Go back. And I love them enough and I respect him enough to go back and make it right. That's the key to an inner circle. It's not this frilly, really stuff that love you all the time. It's when you're making a poor decision or you've made a poor decision and they challenge you on it and they expect you to go and make it right. That's who you surround yourself with.
Sounds right. Even in an inner circle, you can either throw up red flags yourself or other people are throwing up red flags that you see and go, hey, there's something going on here. Can you share a moment where that might have happened, even in your inner circle, where you've had to either confess something or you've had to pull something out of somebody else, and what the importance of that outcome was?
Okay, without being too transparent, I am at PBA. So about 20 years ago, a good long time ago, Harm, you'll appreciate this. A buddy of mine, Josh, and I were in Orlando, and we're standing at his mom's house. We're visiting her, but like any good Christian boys, you got to be to church Sunday morning at 9 a.m. for church. Okay, you betcha, we'll be there. But that night, we had decided we're going to go out dancing. Oh, God.
You must move.
So we're dancing. And it's Havana Nights. I don't know if anyone's seen Night at the Roxbury. Has anybody seen that movie? Yeah. So me and my buddy there, and it's Havana Nights, and we're dancing with these two girls. And he looks at me, he goes, wrap it up, we're out of here. And I go, there's no way, dude, you see how hot she is? He's like, wrap it up now, we're out of here. And so I just kind of did this number to ignore him. And next thing I know, he slips in between me and my dance partner, and he's dancing on me. He says, we're leaving now. He put his hand around my waist, and we danced right out of the club. I look over his shoulder, the girl was laughing at first, but then she was like, what is happening here? I just waved at her, bye-bye, friend, it was fun. And out the door we went, and then we got home, and I thought, man, whew, God, I'm so happy, dude, you drug us out of there. Who knows where that night would have gone? And at the time, when I was dancing, I've been married for 18 years or something like that to my wife, Christy. She was my girlfriend. I'm dancing with this girl at the club, we're jiggling out, we're hanging out, and I'm like, I look back now, I'm like, who knows where my life would have gone if I would have stayed one more song in that club with that random girl, I have no idea who she is. And I thought to myself, man, this guy Josh saved me. I don't even know. Once your hair clears, your head clears, you get the fog out, and you're like, all right. Wow, you think back, you're like, man, so we're in the, we get back to his house, we're drinking water, kind of laughing and talk about it. And then like the two good Christian boys, hey man, see you in the morning for church? You betcha, I'll be there. All right, that was 20 years ago, guys, give me a break. I was like 21 years old. But that's how that happened.
So, you know, when you have an inner circle, how do you set up boundaries for each other and keep that in check?
Yeah, I think it starts with setting your own boundaries and expectation for yourself. And with your own boundaries set, your inner circle will respect them and support them. And then they'll have their boundaries that they're set, and they'll respect them. You know, a lot of people, let's say they get a great business deal, and they're like, hey, meet us at Rachel's tonight. We'll get the business deal, but we're going to do business at Rachel's overstays. Like, dude, man, like, bro, I'm married. Like, this is not a place for me. Like, can we meet at Okeechobee Steakhouse? I mean, they've got great steaks. No, man, we all meet at Rachel's. It's like, all right, hey, do you go to Rachel's to get the deal, or do you go like, hey, man, I just can't make it. Like, what are you doing? It's a big deal. Or, hey, I need this, or I need whatever it is, and you have these boundaries. Do the people around you support your boundaries, or do you got to make excuses because, or perverse talk, or coarse joking, or all the lewd jokes that sometimes people make? Do you jump in and be a part of that and tag in, or do you set a boundary and say, ah, man, that's not for me? The reality of it is setting boundaries for yourself first will allow other people to be like, all right, this is where this guy stands. Either I'm good with that or I'm not good with that. Either way, this is where you stand, if that makes sense.
Phone a friend.
Phone a friend for sure.
You've alluded to the fact that having an inner circle really will help shape your future. Some people may not have an inner circle. You know, there are statistics that show that the percentage of men in the U.S. that don't have friends at an alarming rate. They're suffering of loneliness, depression, and even suicide. I think it was 63% of the population have expressed some form of loneliness at some point, but only a small percentage of those are willing to even talk about it. So for those who may not have an inner circle, how do they identify? It could be just one person. How do they get out of their comfort zone to maybe identify a person and just start that relationship? And I'll use this as a caveat. When you and I met, it wasn't that long ago in the big scheme of things. And we met for coffee at Starbucks, which I thought was just like this, we're gonna just have a cup of coffee and get to know each other. It turned out to be you asked if I would join your Bible study group for a year, which was not a small commitment. And I was thinking, like I have my inner circle. I'm sitting with a group of strangers asked to commit a year to read the Bible with them. Sounds like a lot. I can tell you now in hindsight in the rearview mirror. I mean, we're on year 2, and we didn't have to do that. We all committed at the same time, like we're doing this again. I would have missed out on some incredibly rich moments and encouraging moments in my life had I not decided to meet with this group of strangers who are now some of my closest friends here at Palm Beach. So that's my story of how I met you and how, even though we didn't know each other at that point, that can maybe encourage somebody else to know that even if it's just one person that you don't know could turn into something significant.
4 quick things, or four things you can do to help build an inner circle. Number 1, pray. My grandmother, Lucille Harris, who recently passed away, she was like 97. She was a prayer warrior. Because of her prayer, it's the reason why I'm sitting here in front of you today. So pray. Maybe there's relationships that you have in your life that actually, you probably should let them go and make room for other relationships because they aren't really bringing any value. Number 2, really simple, be trustworthy. If you're not trustworthy, if you can't keep someone shares something deep that they're struggling with and you tell the world, I mean, like, that's not helpful. Be trustworthy and be authentic. And then be selfless. When my friend asked me to drive to Miami for these guys, all of us to get together, I'm like, Miami, nobody wants to drive to Miami, friend. It's like a 3-hour drive. It is the worst drive in the history of drives. But for you guys, I'll invest the time and I'll commit to being there. You know, and part of that being trustworthy is do what you say you're going to do. Be where you said you would be. Be where you said you would be. Do what you said you would do. Quick story. King David in the Bible was hanging out. It was campaign war season. Now David and the boys are supposed to rally and go to war. It's time to take more land and do business. But this particular time, David decided, hey man, I'm just going to hang out. You guys go ahead, I'm going to stay back and I'm going to hang out for a bit. Okay, number 1, he wasn't where he was supposed to be. He was supposed to be leading the charge and taking ground for the Lord. That's where he was supposed to be. But he said, you boys got this one. It's a little small group. You take care of that. So he's back. Great. Okay, rule number 1 broke. So he's hanging out. He's out on the patio, probably having a nice glass of wine, just enjoying himself, taking in the beauty. Well, wouldn't you know it, as fate would have it, Bathsheba is taking a bath. Now, ladies, no disrespect, this might have been the greatest bath that one man has ever seen in his life, because here's what he did next. He lied and he committed murder. It must have been an incredible bath. That's all I'm going to say about that. So, if David was exactly where he was supposed to be on the front lines with his men, he misses Bathsheba. That never occurs. If David saw Bathsheba but didn't lie about it and try to cover up and have murder, he wouldn't have lied. So really just being where you're supposed to be has been a huge, all right, John, you said you would be there, be where you're supposed to be, do what you said you would do. That's how you build trust. If your inner circle says we're going to do this, be there, do whatever they said, do whatever you said you were going to do. So that's been a really big part of my life.
That's great. That lends itself to legacy. The 4th pillar of Vintage Gentleman, what you're talking about really is the kind of legacy that you will leave if you make those decisions. For you, as a husband and father, and public servant, what legacy do you want to leave when people think back at who Jon Maples is? And legacy, by the way, doesn't have to be some future thing. It's what we do every day.
I heard a story at Palm Beach Men's for Christ, or Palm Beach Men's Doing Life Better Together, however the statement goes, some of the guys here. Dude, a guy was passing away. Coach told the story, and the guy was in the hospital with his family, and at the foot of his bed, his children were weeping and crying and saying, Lord, hey, whatever blessing or portion that you gave him, we want it. Give it to us. And I thought, man, what kind of legacy where your kids, you're dying, you're on your deathbed in the hospital, and your kids are worshiping God and asking God to give them the legacy or blessing that rested on your life. Not more money, not another building, not another car, not more land, not more resource, which is what I do for a living for my clients and for my family. We plan for giving your family a lot of stuff. It's going to be great. Everybody needs it. But in this particular case, they were praying for the mantle of the Spirit that rested on this gentleman's life. And I thought, wow, that is incredible. His kids are literally washing his feet as he's dying, asking God and crying and praying out for a mantle that rests on their father. If I can be that kind of father.
Sure. I think you already are. Thank you for sharing. Let's give Jon a round of applause. Thank you for being transparent. Thank you for your humility. Thank you for sharing with us about the importance of inner circle